story begins with Lu Zi, and she was a successful lawyer. She recently won a big case, so everyone was celebrating. But deep inside, Lu Zi thought to herself that she kept herself extremely busy just so she could forget that person. Lu Zi came across some news reporting the death of an animation movie director. In his memory, an exhibition named Only Yesterday was organized. At the venue, posters everywhere read, "Sunny day, cloudy day, rainy day." The moment she saw those words, something clicked in her mind, and she rushed straight to the exhibition. As she wandered around, her eyes suddenly landed on her old school-time diary, the one she lost ages ago. Her jaw practically dropped. Just as she was about to pick it up, an employee stopped her and reminded her that touching anything there wasn't allowed. Louis insisted that it was her diary. The staff member asked her to wait while he checked with the person who had placed it there. Meanwhile, Lu Zi drifted into deep thought, silently recalling that the diary was related to only one person she once loved. Then, the scene jumped to the past. The year was 1998. Lu Zi was talking to her dad on the phone, asking when he would return home. He assured her that he would come back soon, and even promised to bring her favorite frog raincoat. Unfortunately, right after that, her father passed away due to a factory accident caused by a machinery malfunction. Her mother broke down completely in shock and grief. Lu Zi and her mother went to the factory owner's house to ask for help. Ironically, a wedding was going on at the house. Her mother confronted the factory owner's wife, saying her husband died working for them and they now needed support. But the woman coldly refused and even gave them a verbal lashing before driving them away. While Lu Zi sat alone outside, a boy named Sheng approached her. He invited her to play, made her wear a flower crown, and playfully pretended they were getting married. From that moment, Lu Zi started to like Sheng. But then, a few other boys came and began troubling Sheng. Lu Zi kicked them away and protected him. Just then, Lu Zi's mom arrived and scolded her harshly, questioning why she was playing with that boy. She then dragged Lu Zi away forcefully. Lu Zi began crying bitterly. Sheng's mom also arrived. The boys lied to her, saying the girl had been bothering Sheng. Sheng remained silent, but it was clear he didn't like watching Lu Zi walk away. The story jumped ahead. It was the year 2008, and Lu Zi was now in high school. She saw her name on the notice board in the top 20 list, ranked at number 10. But then, a teacher came and updated the list, placing Sheng in the first position, which pushed Lu Zi to number 11. She started feeling a bit down. The students around her discussed how Sheng was a new transfer student from another school, and also how he was incredibly intelligent and rich. Lu Zi didn't say anything, but from his name, she realized he was the same boy she once liked. When she got home, Lu Zi tried to hide her test paper, but it accidentally ended up in her mother's hands. Her mom scolded her, saying she worked so hard to educate her and paid her tuition fees, yet Lu Zi wasn't focusing on studies. Lu Zi, overwhelmed, declared that one day she would be number 1 for sure. Next, at the school assembly, Lu Zi was running late. The teacher called Sheng to the stage to give a speech as he topped the list. Lu Zi saw him after a long time and watched him intently. In his speech, Sheng said that exams were like a wall in every student's life that must be crossed to see a better future. Everyone liked the speech and started clapping. Lu Che was the happiest of them all, thrilled to see her long-lost crush in her school again. After that, Lu Zi began secretly observing Sheng, which class he attended, when he played the piano, and even what books he read. Her heart would race just watching him pass by. She already recognized him, but Sheng didn't know she was the same girl from the past. Lu Zi often sat wherever Sheng studied just to admire him from a distance. When he left, she would hide her face like a ninja. Lu Zi was on the school rooftop, where he wrote a dialogue from her favorite animation movie on the wall. Do you like sunny days, cloudy days, or rainy days? Sheng suddenly appeared there too, and Lu Zi quickly hid. He saw the writing on the wall and responded below it, writing that he liked rainy days, and that Only Yesterday was also his favorite movie. Lu Zi was overjoyed that he replied to her question. From that moment, they began communicating by writing messages on the wall. It turned out they shared many likes and dislikes, but Sheng still didn't know who was behind those words. Lu Zi kept following him around, always staying nearby, but Sheng never noticed. He liked eating with 3 chopsticks, so Lu Zi even taught herself to eat. One day, there was a school play. Lu Zi was playing a background character. A girl named Zhanyan came from a rich family just like Sheng and was famous in school for her beauty. Jianyun had to sing, but she told the teacher she couldn't do it without music and asked that Sheng play the piano for her. Truth be told, Jianyun also liked Sheng. The teacher called Sheng to the stage, and Luzi did not like this idea at all. She told the teacher it was unfair that only Jianyun got a chance to sing and that others should also get a singing audition. The other girls agreed, mostly because they were also jealous of Jianyun. The teacher agreed to hold auditions and asked Luzi to sing first. Luzi walked up confidently, only to sing so badly that everyone burst out laughing. It was such a disaster, even the school bell rang off-key in protest. Luzi felt horribly embarrassed, especially because Sheng was watching. The teacher asked her to step back, so Luzi went back and tried to hide her face. Jianyun then sang beautifully while Sheng played the piano for her. During the final performance, everything went well, but right at the end, Luji's friend loudly shouted Sheng's name from the audience and confessed, "I like you!" All the students started screaming in excitement. Even the boys waiting outside rushed to the stage. Everyone urged Sheng to say yes, but Sheng apologized and walked away, rejecting Luzi's friend in front of everyone. Her friend was heartbroken and even fainted. Luzi realized that if she confessed her feelings too, she'd face the same rejection. Luzi once tried to talk to Sheng, but his driver arrived, and he left before she could say anything. After that, she never gathered the courage again. Like a roasted peanut writing a love poem, she returned to her diary, scribbling her thoughts about Sheng, and just then, it started to rain. As soon as Luzi saw everything, she ran away from there in a panic, which left her classmate Jianyun completely confused, as she couldn't understand what had happened to Luzi so suddenly. Actually, Luzi was upset because the rain erased all the things Sheng wrote on the rooftop walls. This broke Luzi's heart, and she started crying. At the same time, Sheng reached the rooftop too. Seeing him, Luzi quickly hid behind something. Sheng also started crying. Even though he didn't know the girl he was secretly connecting with, he had started liking her. Luzi really wanted to go to him. She even thought about it for a moment, but couldn't gather the courage. So in the end, both of them sat apart from each other. Later, when Luzi returned to class, she came to know that her diary was missing. This put her in complete panic. She couldn't figure out where it went. The next day, Luzi visited Sheng, just like she did every day, but this time she saw Jianyun with him. That was when the truth was revealed. Jianyun told Sheng that she was the girl from the rooftop. She used Luzi's diary and acted as if she was the mystery girl. At school, everyone started gossiping that Jianyun and Sheng were the perfect couple, both rich, both attractive. All this made Luzi's heart feel crushed. She stopped talking to everyone and spent days in sadness. Then she decided to forget Sheng forever and focus only on her studies. She focused completely on studying. She didn't think about Sheng anymore, while Sheng continued dating Jianyun like nothing happened. Finally, the exam results came out and Luzi stood first in the school. She was very happy. But the moment she learned that Sheng got the 23rd rank, her smile vanished. While everyone was congratulating her, her friend told her that Sheng and Jianyun were not going to appear in the college entrance exams because they were going abroad for higher studies. Luzi realized that she wouldn't even get to see Sheng from far away now. Then the scene shifted to the school assembly, where Luzi gave a speech after being awarded for her first rank. Sheng was present in the audience, but he didn't look at her even once. He felt embarrassed. Getting 23rd rank after being the school topper earlier would do that to anyone. For the last time, Luzi was going to the rooftop. She stood quietly, remembering all her memories with Sheng. She wrote something on the wall and began crying. She cried even more than before, thinking Sheng must have already left for abroad with Jianyun. She had written on the wall that she liked Sheng, but no one ever found out. Then the timeline moved forward to the year 2012. Luzi appeared in college entrance exams and got admitted into a university. She was riding her bicycle when she suddenly thought she saw Sheng standing in front of her. She was shocked, and when the person turned around, it really was Sheng. Luzi became completely stunned. What was he doing in China? Just then, a fruit fell from above and revealed that a short film was being shot there. The director noticed Luzi and found her perfect for a role. He asked her about her department, but Luzi couldn't answer because she was too distracted by Sheng's sudden appearance. She just ran away from there, confused, and when she reached her dorm, she wondered, if Sheng didn't go abroad, why was he here in the same university? The next day, Luzi went to the canteen and started looking for her favorite chocolate buns, only to find that someone already bought all of them. Then someone called her to come sit. It was the short film director from earlier. He had all the buns on the table. She sat down and saw Sheng sitting right in front of her. The director introduced himself as Ming and said he made short films. Sheng then asked her if she studied in Zhenhua school. Luzi said yes and asked how he knew. Sheng said that he studied in the same school. He heard her name when she stood first in the exams, but this was the first time he was seeing her in person. Sheng introduced himself and said he was also in the law department. Luzi felt super happy inside. Sheng not only remembered her name, but he was also finally talking to her. Outwardly though, she acted like she had no clue who he was. Then Sheng mentioned he knew someone named Zhen Yang from her school. Ming then explained that he was making a short film and wanted Luzi to play the lead actress. He asked if she would be interested. Luzi gave excuses that she didn't have much time. Then casually she asked Sheng if he was still Zhen Yang's boyfriend. Sheng replied no. Ming added that Sheng was supposed to go abroad with Zhen Yun, but since they broke up, he stayed back and took admission locally. Lulu felt a wave of joy inside knowing Sheng was single again. She also copied Sheng's habit of using 3 chopsticks while eating. Sheng noticed it and felt surprised. It made him feel connected to her in a strange way. Ming then told Luzi again to consider doing the short film. He said Sheng would play the male lead and she'd be his heroine. Luzi immediately agreed. After all, getting a chance to be Sheng's heroine, even on screen, was a dream come true. Next day, the shoot started. Sheng wore an alien costume, and Luzi was shown talking to him. Everything went smoothly until angry uncle came and scolded them for shooting in a no-permission zone. Everyone ran away. After this, they all went to the class. Luzi didn't sit with them but quietly sat at the back, stealing glances at Sheng and smiling. The teacher then entered and announced they would be doing a case analysis today. He said he would divide the class into 2 parties, and then it was announced that 2 students would have to come forward and debate. One party would represent the side that wanted justice because something terrible had happened to them, while the other party would represent the side that was at fault but refused to admit their mistake. The case was that a worker had died in their company due to overwork and a malfunctioning machine. Luzi represented the party seeking justice, so she stated that it was the company's fault because they neither took care of the machines nor showed compassion for their workers. Then, Sheng, who was on the company's side, argued that it wasn't the company's fault at all, as the workers signed a contract before starting work. Therefore, if a worker overworked themselves to complete the task, the company couldn't be blamed. Luzi initially stood silently because old childhood memories began to resurface. This case reminded her of her father's case. Becoming emotional, she spoke about how the rich inflicted such cruelty on the poor. First, they pressured them to finish work as fast as possible, then ignored the faulty machines when the workers overworked, and when the worker died because of it all, they refused to take responsibility. She questioned how a family survived when their only breadwinner left the world forever. What about the little kids who waited for their father to return? At this, Sheng could only look at Luzi. Even the whole class was shocked. Sheng accepted defeat and admitted that it was indeed the company's fault. He started clapping for Luzi, and soon everyone else did the same. Luzi worked part-time at a noodle shop. When Sheng arrived there, she hid upon seeing him. But then she got up and asked him why he came. Sheng said he just happened to be there. Actually, he already knew Luzi worked part-time at that shop, so he had come just to meet her. Because Sheng had started developing interest in Luzi, he ordered lots of noodles and kept eating them for a long time, secretly glancing at Luzi from time to time. When he ordered another bowl of noodles, Luzi told him not to do all this if he was doing it for her, because she wouldn't earn any commission from it anyway, so he didn't need to go overboard. Sheng paused. He really was doing it for her, so she would benefit from his large order. Eventually, the 2 of them closed the shop together and started walking home. Luzi wasn't walking beside Sheng, but a little behind, a habit she had since school. Sheng tried to scare her first and then asked why she always walked behind him. Sheng remarked that the shop owner made her work late into the night, yet paid her very little. Luzi explained that students didn't get paid much anyway, and people only gave them a small amount. Just then, Luzi received a call from her friend Bali, who was in trouble, so both of them quickly ran off. When they reached the club, they found out Bali had gotten into a fight. A girl was shouting that Bali had ruined her expensive dress and asked if Bali could pay for it. Sheng stepped in saying the fight should stop and that he would pay for it, but he added that the dress was actually from a fake brand. The girl got even more furious and asked how he dared insult her. The argument escalated further, so they grabbed Bali and ran out of the club. Bali was with a friend, so Sheng told them to run in a different direction while he and Luzi went another way. The people chasing them only followed Sheng and Luzi. The 2 of them smartly hid in one spot and finally managed to escape. They took a deep breath of relief. Since it had started raining, they sat down right there. Sheng began talking about his favorite animated movie only yesterday and asked Luci if she liked it too. Luci, who was a big fan of that movie herself, didn't reply right away. Then Sheng shared that back in school, he used to secretly talk to a girl on the rooftop. That girl also liked Only Yesterday and had written down one of its quotes. Sheng thought she was Junyun, so he started dating her, but it turned out she wasn't the girl he'd spoken to on the rooftop, so he broke up with Junyun. Luzi silently listened to everything. When Shang went to look for a taxi, Lucy watched him and wondered if fate was what kept bringing them close again and again. She wondered if she really could become the important girl in his life. The next day, because of heavy rains, all school activities were suspended and students were asked to stay in their dorms. Lucy was in the dorm when she received a message from Shang asking if she was outside. Lucy lied and said she was standing in front of the teacher's building. Shang told her to wait for him there. Hearing that, Lucy quickly picked a dress, got ready fast, and rushed out. She entered just as everyone else was leaving, went downstairs, threw her umbrella in the trash, and waited for Shang. People were confused seeing this. Lucy kept waiting for Shang, and quite some time passed. For a moment, she thought he wouldn't come, but when he finally did, she became very happy. Shang had brought a frog-themed raincoat for her, the same one she had once asked her father for, but he never returned. All of Lucy's class had come to do a photo shoot and looked very happy. While filming, they started asking each other what their last wish would be if the world were ending. Lucy said she wanted to become brave so she could express what was in her heart. Shang said he wished they could all always be together. That night, they all lit fireworks and were very happy. They enjoyed the last day of the shoot thoroughly. While going back, Lucy fell asleep on the bus. Shang put his hand behind her head so she wouldn't bump into the window. When Shang sat next to her, Lucy woke up and smiled upon seeing him. Shang apologized for waking her. Then Lucy asked him what he preferred, sunny days, cloudy days, or rainy days. Shang said rainy days. Upon hearing this, Lucy thought to herself that he had unknowingly confirmed that she was the same terrace girl. Shang smiled brightly and said he had finally found her. Lucy looked very happy. Shang extended his hand and she placed hers over it. Days passed by, and Lucy shared that it had been a month since she started dating Shang. But it felt like it was just yesterday. She said she didn't know why good days ended so quickly. She was very happy with Shang. They spent good time together in class, laughed a lot, and even walked back to the dorms together. Shang also started working part-time at the same place as Lucy, so he could help her. That way, they spent even more time together. One day, Lucy had to go to her hometown to visit her mom because it was her father's death anniversary. Shang came to see her off. She said goodbye and left. While she was sitting on the train, Shang appeared there too and said that as her boyfriend, he couldn't stay even a day away from her. Lucy promised that they would always stay together. At Lucy's home, her mom was very happy to see her. Lucy prayed for her father. Just then, her aunt arrived. After greeting Lucy, she began talking and said that there was good news. They were starting to see some hope in the case that had been going on for years. Lucy quietly listened to all of it. The case they were talking about was the one Lucy's mom had filed against Shang's father's company after Lucy's father died. Hearing all this made Lucy feel strange. She started getting worried because, on one hand, she wanted justice for her father. But on the other hand, she feared what Shang would think once he found out who she really was. The next day, Shang had called Lucy outside their old school. When he showed up in a school uniform, Lucy started laughing and asked why he was dressed like that. Shang said he brought the uniform so they could relive their school days and mentioned that he also brought a school dress for Lucy. Both of them entered the school building happily, and soon Lucy was seen wearing the school uniform. Shang told her she always followed him, so this time he wanted to follow her. Lucy agreed, and Shang started walking behind her. They sneaked into a classroom and quietly sat down, but the teacher noticed them and asked them whether they wanted to study in school again. All the students laughed while Lucy tried to get Shang to sit down. Eventually, the teacher gave them permission to explore the school building. Later, they played the piano together, fulfilling Lucy's dream of playing the piano with Shang. Then they went to the terrace and spent quality time together. They played around and looked at the wall where they used to write and talk. As they lay down peacefully, Shang thanked Lucy, saying everything in his life changed after she came into it. He felt happier and no longer worried about the future. He believed that as long as Lucy was with him, the future would stay happy. Lucy told Shang to always remember one thing, that no matter what situation came in the future, he should never forget her feelings were true. She sincerely and deeply liked him. Shang simply responded, okay, and kissed her. Lucy kissed him back, and then they both lay down again and stayed in that peaceful moment for a long time. Afterward, Lucy looked through old belongings, including a photo of Shang, and said to herself it was time to tell him the truth about who she really was. She thought he might get angry for hiding the truth for so long, especially about her father, but she felt he deserved to hear it from her and not someone else. She messaged Shang and asked him to meet her at the station the next day because she wanted to tell him something very important. After that, she hoped they could return to university together. The next day, Uzo was already seated in the train, but Shang didn't show up. He didn't answer her calls either. Lucy waited a long time, growing more anxious, but he never came. After a long time, he finally sent a message saying he couldn't come due to a family emergency. Lucy assumed he got busy with family matters and went back to the university alone. Days passed, but there was no update from Shang. His phone remained switched off. Suddenly, she received shocking news. Sheng was expelled from university. He was accused of taking an exam for a rich student in exchange for money. Lucy became deeply worried and wondered what happened in his life that forced him to take such a step. Something serious must have happened. She rushed to her dorm and saw her mother there, who told her they won the case. The man was sent to jail and his wife went into shock and was now hospitalized. Her mother said, now Lucy's father's soul could rest in peace. She was talking about Sheng's parents, the ones they filed the case against. After her mother left, Lucy started crying, feeling miserable about what happened to Sheng's family. She wondered how Sheng must be handling everything. He must have found out it was her family who filed the case. Filled with guilt, she went to see him. On the way, she remembered their memories and all their happy moments. But now, everything has changed. She reached the hospital where Sheng's mother was admitted and saw Jian Yan helping there. Lucy's heart broke even more. Jian Yan also saw Lucy, stepped outside, and asked what she was doing there and if she wasn't satisfied with the pain she already gave Sheng. She said Lucy should have told the truth from the beginning. Lucy realized Jian Yan knew everything, so she asked if she was the one who stole her diary and told her to return it. A flashback revealed how Jian Yan stole Lucy's diary and pretended to be the terrace girl Sheng once liked. Jian Yan said she tried hard but couldn't win Sheng's heart, and they eventually broke up. She believed that was her punishment for lying. But now, Lucy also hid the truth, so she deserved to be punished. Jian Yan said once Sheng and his mother recovered, she would take them abroad. Lucy didn't argue and quietly went back to university. She thought maybe Jian Yan was right. Maybe she wasn't perfect for Sheng. It hurt to know he was leaving her life, but she hoped he would find happiness with Jian Yan abroad. Later, it was New Year's Day. Bali forced Lucy to attend a party where everyone was celebrating. The past ended there. In the present, Lucy was at the exhibition when a man returned her diary. He said the person who left it allowed her to take it back. Lucy was happy to see it again, but when she opened it, she found Sheng had written a lot about himself. He wrote that Jian Yan returned the diary on the last day of school and confessed she wasn't the terrace girl. The real girl was the diary's owner. Sheng understood Luce's feelings and realized she liked him for a long time. That's when he decided to meet her. He purposely joined her university and arranged all their encounters, from the canteen to her workplace, because he wanted to be close to her. But things changed when his father went to jail. His life turned upside down. There was no money, and his relatives refused to help. His uncles avoided him, and his mother fell sick. He barely managed daily expenses. He often typed messages to Lucy saying he missed her, but deleted them because he didn't have the courage. He felt ashamed and believed he couldn't give her a good life, so he chose to disappear. He didn't go abroad with Jian Yan, even though everyone thought he did. He lived on memories of Lucy. On her birthday, he brought a cake, but couldn't give it. Watching her from afar made him happy. He decided to return only after becoming successful. But every business he tried failed. He eventually gave up and left her life. He believed she would succeed and be happy, and that made him happy too. Lucy cried reading everything. She always thought he would hate her after knowing the truth, but he still loved her. He never stopped loving her. He never left China. Sheng was shown living in a rented room. His mother was still hospitalized. He managed everything somehow. One day, he watched a university video with Lucy in it and smiled. He lived with her memories. Then, he got a call from the art gallery. Meanwhile, Lucy was waiting for someone. Sheng arrived because Lucy had called him. Both were overwhelmed seeing each other. They cried in happiness. Lucy asked the same old question, whether he liked sunny, cloudy, or rainy days. Sheng answered, "I like you." Lucy got emotional and hugged him, asking why he took so long to return. Sheng apologized. They talked about missing each other. Sheng said he lost everything. Lucy replied that he still had everything that made her fall in love with him. All she ever wanted was him. Sheng smiled, moved by her words. She still loved him for who he was. They walked away happily, and the movie ended with a beautiful and emotional ending.